everyone, Mike Nelson here again with another video for you all. Today I wanted to talk about why I was done being an agent. I really had a moment, a breaking point in my career. I think every successful person at some point in time has that breaking point. And I wanted to kind of go through my story because it's not all peaches and cream and riches and fame and all that good stuff. So anyways, stay tuned for some more around that little story. I hope you'll find it fun and exciting, and also hopefully it has a little impact on you. But before we begin, would you go ahead and click the subscription button below if you like these videos, put some comments down below, click the notification bell. We'd love to continue to share our information out to those that want to hear about it. So today we were talking about why I was almost done as an agent and what I did about it, right? I reached a breaking point. I started this career, if any of you all know my history, I was 20 years in the military, retired from the Air National Guard. I worked 19 years at IBM, different levels of management, got into some pretty high enlisted ranks in the military, so on and so forth. With that being said, I decided to turn my career over with IBM after 19 years and said, cool, I think I'm gonna jump into real estate. Wasn't thoroughly enjoying my job at the latter parts of my career at IBM, and jumped right in. I was kind of foolish in the beginning, like I think a lot of agents are. You take the test and it doesn't necessarily mean you're good at real estate. I did a little bit of sales training at IBM, so I kind of had a little taste of sales, but not a ton. And with that being said, I just jumped right into real estate. I said, what the hell? I was fortunate because I was able to get a buyout package from the company that I was at. That gave me 6 months, although after they taxed it and everything else, it wasn't quite that long. But I did have some income coming in, so that was comforting. I will say, at 9 months, I hadn't cracked a deal. Like literally, dude, I hadn't cracked a deal in 9 months. I was bleeding. I don't spend near the money I do now on the business back then, but I was still bleeding. I mean, no paycheck for 8 or 9 months was hurting. I mean, however, I was going with the mindset at the time. It was a slow game for me. I was really becoming one of those studious types. I was the one that wanted to know as much as I could about the business. Was one of those career education kind of guys in the industry. Less about sales for a while, more about building systems, more about studying what the best of the best were doing. That was really the key to my success. I didn't see it at the time at month 9. I was foolish thinking that I would walk in and just get instant business. People would all know about me. My family would tell everybody about me, right? I don't even know that I've gotten more than one referral from, I guess 2 referrals from inside my family in like 9 years. So, right, and I don't say that in spite. I just say that because it's bad thinking when you first come in, like, oh, everybody will use me. So with that being said, I kind of took the studious route, sat there for 8-9 months. I lead generated. Social media was a big play for me. I used Facebook to really get my name and my brand and what I was doing out there, trying to win hearts and minds through free services like Facebook. But again, I'm gonna tell you, at month 8, month 9, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I can't take this anymore. And I was not one of those guys that worked 2 hours a day and then went to the golf course and then had beers. No, I was working 6 days a week, 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, depending on what was going on. I was chasing bad buyer deals all around like most new agents do, not getting anything done. It was just crazy. I mean, it was a moment of, I'm trusting what I'm doing, but you have a breaking point at some point in time. That was my breaking point. So one of the messages I want to kind of come out with and say, you gotta have a supportive system. You have gotta have somebody that supports you. I don't care if it's a spouse, I don't care if it's a parent, I don't care if it's a friend, whoever it is, somebody close to you needs to support you, because that was super impactful in my life, was my wife standing behind me. And I get a little bit even choked up and emotional today because she's always had unwavering support for me. And I think that's very critical. If you've got a spouse on the other side that's pulling against you and not really out loud rooting against you, but throwing negatives and stuff at you or saying maybe this really isn't for you, if they're not fully encouraging you, it's tough on your mental state, right? So anyways, a lot of times when I interview agents coming in, I want to know if they have that significant other and I know about it. I'm going to ask them, do they support this decision, right? And are you financially capable to go a little while without a paycheck? Because there's nothing worse than going home at night and having somebody kind of downplay your efforts and not trying to root you on and cheer you on and things like that. So thankfully, with my owner's role at the time, I'm the owner of my company, and my wife kind of like pulled me aside and said, you've got this, it's working, you just don't see it yet, right? We want that instant recognition, we want that instant switch of a sale happening. And really what happened at month 10, month 9, something like that, I can't exactly recall, I got a deal. It was a HUD deal. Woohoo! It was a HUD deal. One of the most complicated things that I've probably done, at least at the time as a new agent, first time ever doing a deal. Made it happen, got it closed. Next thing you know, another deal popped the next month, then 2 deals popped, then maybe went back down to 1, and then 2 popped, and then 3, and then 3, and then 4, and then 3, and then 4. So you see, I was kind of seeing that momentum at that point in time. Took me 9 months to get that momentum. I'm not a quitter, but I will tell you, I was damn near my breaking point at month 9. I was running out of money. I was running out of patience with all the hours, because again, I'm not a just do something half-assed. I'm an all-in kind of guy, and I did it. So I was like, this just don't work for me. I'm not a sales guy. Thankfully, I'm blessed to have a wife that supported me and encouraged me and kind of kicked me in the pants when I needed to, got me back up on the horse. And you know, that was critical for us. So, you know, a few lessons I learned during there is I compared myself to others a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, this rookie agent just came in and did, you know, 2 deals in their first 60 days. And I'm sitting here at month 7, haven't done a single deal. Oh my gosh, look at all the awards all these agents are getting, however they were been in the business for 10, 12, 15 years. I just didn't see it at the time. So it was just kind of hit my ego a lot. It was like, man, look at all these people. And the message there is, you can't compare, you know, others' outsides to their insides kind of scenario, right? Or compare your insides to their outsides, if you will. And the reason behind that is you don't know how long they've been in business. You don't know the amount of failures that they've had to endure. A lot of times we just want to look at the successful and the rich of people and go, oh, you're an overnight success. I guarantee you, 99.9% of the time, it's not an overnight success. They can tell you story after story after story of all the failing moments that they've had. They've just stuck with it. They endured through it all. The other thing is, what we talked about a little bit as the lesson learned, is doubters. I believe people are, I don't know if it's intentional, but they try to tear you down, right? Like, oh, I don't think real estate's for you. You should go back and get a full-time job and make sure you get a guaranteed pay. I told you that this wasn't really something that you'd be successful at, right? They're just kind of saying those things, and sometimes they're kind of, you know, not as abrupt as I didn't think you'd be good at this, but they're just saying negative energy thing. Cut those doubters out of your life. I'll tell you that right now. Tune them out, and then use that as motivation. Like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Okay, watch this. Hold my beer kind of scenario. We talked, the last thing I kind of talked about is a support system. Have some cheerleaders, have some, I mean, it's got to be more than cheerleaders, but that's a good part of it, is people encouraging you, rooting you on. Yeah, you also need some accountability. You need some mentors in your life. You need some people that have been there. Your wife is great and they're super awesome, but if they've never really been through the pains of starting up a real estate business, it's a different connection when you can connect with somebody that's been there and done that. You know, I kind of say, like cancer survivors, it's a lot easier. I think it's more impactful sometimes when other cancer survivors know what they've been through and the chemo treatments, as opposed to somebody like myself. While it's still appreciated that I go out and cheer them on and give them good positive thoughts, my conversation isn't as impactful, I don't think, as somebody that's actually been through the experience. So get somebody that's been through the experience. Let them guide you. Let them give you tips. Let them tell you where you're not doing things that you need to do, right? Let them kick your butt a little bit. I'm a big believer of that. So let's fast forward today. I'm a big believer in the saying, you'll overestimate what you can do in 1 year. I was that person, 9 months in, no deals, and I was ready to throw in the towel. And I'm also a believer that you'll underestimate what you'll do in 5 years. So use that in concept, and I think we're about 10 years, maybe in May, that's like next month or 2 months from now, 10 years, right? And what I look at in that 10-year period is we've grown teams to 8 locations with agents looking to use our systems and partner with us for success. Man, I've been a coach at Keller Williams at the highest level, which is MAPS coaching. I've taught classes around the United States. I don't know if I can say globally yet, maybe, but mostly United States. I have mentored people. We have had 40, 50 agents come through our services and tried to help them be successful. Sometimes they were not able to be quite to the level that they needed to be with their work, but most of them have been really good and really learned a lot of the systems. What else have we done? Geez, I now moved over to a new company called EXP because I just felt like there was better opportunities there with some of the benefits and the packages that the agents get. There's just so many opportunities in real estate. Geez, we own 2 short-term rentals with another business partner. We have a flip going on right now. Who would have saw that 10 years ago? When I sit back and I reflect on month 9 when I was at my lowest point ever, man, I look at today and go, I was so thankful to persevered through this. I'm also thankful for my family, for their support. Yeah, there's some downsides to it. I've missed some of the family events, and that was sometimes by choice, which I'm not proud of, but I really want to get the business off and running, right? And later in life, I learned how to balance that out and try to be a little bit better at balancing work and life as best that I could. Anyways, that's a little bit about my story. hopefully that kind of resonated with some of you that might be struggling, might be wondering if this is the job for you. I think you really should bring somebody in if you're struggling and just let them kind of evaluate your business. What are your daily activities? What are your habits? What are your lead gen sources? What are you doing in that area? Make sure that you're on the right path. Again, for me, 9 months was a long time, and I just had to believe that my systems that I was building were working, but I didn't see any instant fruit from it. Yet I could have been down the wrong path. I would have had no idea. I did have some mentors, so I kind of felt like I was going down the right path. However, it was a lonely world at 9 months, wondering, man, nothing is working. Literally nothing is working. Imagine working 40 to 60 hours a week for 9 months and nothing's working. I don't know. I try not to be confident or cocky, but I think that says a lot in a human being when they're at their lowest of their lowest, and whether they fight and whether they come out of that fight or they tuck their tail and run the other way. Honestly, I think that's why we have an 87% failure rate in their first 3 to 5 years in this industry, because I don't think people have the grit, they don't have the work ethic, and just being blunt with you, I really think it's bigger effort than they thought it was going to be. I was that way when I first started. Like I said, I kind of thought business would just naturally flow, yet it took a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of cheering and support. I hope you found my story to be a little bit inspirational, perhaps. Let me know, reach out to me. You can reach me at calendly.com/Mike Nelson IHG if you want to reach out to me and ask me any questions, talk my ear off, whatever the case may be. I just want to be a resource for you guys because I know what it takes and the pains that I've had to go through to get here. So go ahead and put some comments down below, let us know, and thank you for letting me share my story with you.